Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So I saw this hit the media and I was like, this is some sick stuff if I've ever seen it. Now, we all know that in our society, in our culture, in our community, one thing that is a very bad issue that a lot of people are dealing with, that a lot of people, they're not gonna put it out there. Some people will, some people won't, is the adult entertainment industry and the addictions that people have to those videos, images, audios, all the stuff that comes with that territory. Some people will swear until they are blue in the face that there's nothing wrong with that it's just an opinion. If you think that people should not be out here addicted to this kind of stuff or be watching this kind of stuff and engaging and paying for stuff like that. But no matter how you slice it, it's wrong is always going to be wrong. And it's sad that people don't see it that way until something crazy or fatal happens as a result of it. And that's another problem that we have in our society, in our culture, in this generation. People labeling everything an opinion or, oh, that's just what you feel, because they don't want to accept it as the truth, because accepting it as the truth would then have to make them do some self-reflection as to why they like doing it so much. And that they have to come to grips with the fact that they have an issue and that it needs to be resolved. Even though it feels good for them, it's an issue, it's a problem, it's not right, and it needs to be resolved. But unfortunately, that's the kind of, like I said, society, community, culture that we live in these days. Now, what does all that have to do with this? So recently, Ruby Rose, who I didn't even know what this woman did for a living, I'm going to be real honest. Apparently, allegedly, she's a rapper and she's on ONLYFANS. One of her supporters, if you will, the people who pay a monthly fee to subscribe to whatever debauchery she puts out on her channel, her OnlyFans account, spent $62,000 in 1 month on this woman. Now, this article was slick and said dropped an eye-watering $62,000. Now, I don't know if the eye-watering is supposed to be as a result of people thinking it was so much of a joke that it brought tears to their eyes while laughing, or it was so eye-watering in that it was so sad that this is the state of how some people really be out here acting. This is what some people really be out here spending their money on. Or that they really just didn't believe or couldn't believe at first glance that he'd actually done this. But apparently he did. He even, I guess, got the chance to meet her. I don't know how that worked out. I don't know if she called him up and was like, hey, we should meet up since you spent this much money. Or if he just so happened to run into her. I really don't know. But I feel like that was a very dangerous situation. But she went and met up with him. She took pictures. He even took a picture and he showed the entire world, confirmed that he did indeed, in fact, spend $62K on this woman on her OnlyFans. And it's not like he even had to do it. He just did it just because. Like I said, it was ridiculous, it was sick, and it was, surprising for a first time, I'm going to go ahead and say that the comments were actually mostly, I said mostly because there were some people co-signing that bull crap, but there were some comments, a lot of comments that were really going in on him, talking about how sad that was and how ridiculous he was for doing that. To my absolute surprise. Now, once again, people have been using this time, this opportunity to once again get across to people that OnlyFans, adult entertainment activities, that industry is not something that you want to go into. And it's sad that people can't even open that conversation without somebody, some butthurt individual, because they're offended because of some OnlyFans person that they like, spending money on. They wouldn't be there if they took that advice, saying something crazy like, oh, you're just saying that because nobody wants to look at you. You're not as pretty as she is. You're not as handsome as he is. No, we just don't want to exploit our bodies. We're trying to have more integrity. We can't put our integrity up to be bought for a certain price and put ourselves out there in a compromising position. And we're also not going to encourage other people to do it. Once again, because this is the kind of stuff that comes out of it. It's all fun and games and talking about, oh, well, you can do what you want to do. These are consenting adults. If somebody wants to get on OnlyFans, the internet, and take all their clothes off and do stuff that's overly sexualized and another person wants to pay to see it, they can do that. But once again, the truth of the matter is that is not right. It's sick in the head. One, the person who's putting themselves out there, they are devaluing themselves enough once again to exploit their bodies for money. And people love to say, oh, if I'm choosing to do it, like there's something wrong with that. Yes, there is. There is a problem if you feel like this is what you have to do to get money. And even if you're not doing it to get money, you already have money. What is it in your mind that has happened to you or in your past or your insecurities that is causing you to feel like this is okay? Once again, it is not okay. And the root of a lot of these people doing this stuff, the reason why they do it, I can guarantee 9 times out of 10 is because of some kind of past trauma, some kind of insecurity, a pride issue, a lust issue, a carnality issue. There's some kind of issue that is causing them to do this, that's leading them to do it. And that right there should tell people, before you do this, before you decide to take off your clothes and do, like I said, debaucherous acts for money, you need to do some self-reflection and see why you feel that way. And you need to take a very sharp turn in the right direction away from that, because you are better than that. You do not have to do these things. God did not send his son to die on the cross for you to exploit yourself. You got to want more for yourself. You got to want better for yourself. And then on the flip side, the people who buy into this stuff don't realize that these people who are on OnlyFans, who are the models, so to speak, they are preying on your insecurities and they are preying on your weaknesses. These people know, if they know that they are as good looking as Ruby Rose is, which, like I said, they very much do know. They also know, okay, so what's something that I can do that's going to cause people to give me a whole lot of money? I can make them feel a certain kind of way. I can give them an experience that they're probably not used to having, because people like this guy, and I'm not trying to throw shade or be disrespectful towards him, but people like this guy, they're probably not used to the attention and the presence of women that look like Ruby Rose. Let's just be 100% honest. So he feels like because he has money, he might not have what he wanted to have, which was access to women like Ruby Rose and the stuff that she offers on her OnlyFans, but he has the money to get it. So he feels like, well, I can use this money that I do have to get what I don't. And he feels that he's entitled to that because he has that money and he gave her that money. Let me be blatantly clear. I'm not here to condemn somebody. I'm not the almighty judge. I'm just saying that it is not right. Just like it's not right to be the person on OnlyFans, it's not right to indulge them, because they are preying off of people's insecurities, once again, and their weaknesses. They know people are very weak when it comes to lust, carnality, perversion, sex, all this kind of stuff. They can see somebody, like I said, that they're not used to seeing on a regular basis just by opening up their phone, their laptop, their iPod, their computer, their iPad, whatever they have. Just like we have freedomed our way into oblivion, saying we can do whatever we want to because we have the freedom to do it. We have freedoms in this country. We've convenienced our way into oblivion. Another thing that people need to understand is that these OnlyFans models and people like them, they are doing their job at the end of the day. Like I said, this is not something that they should be doing, that anybody should be doing, but they have made this essentially into their job. And that's exactly how they're going to approach their job. These people are their patrons, their customers. You don't have relationships with your patrons and your customers. It's business only. They do not care past that about these people who are giving them all of their hard-earned dollars to see them do whatever they're doing on these OnlyFans. So, this is probably a joke to her, him spending this kind of money on her when he could be out here spending money on investments, going to the gym, enhancing himself, being a better person. He could have gave that to a charity. You know how many people out here that are walking to work every day? He could have blessed somebody with a car. He could have blessed a couple of people with cars, actually. But he chose to spend it on this instead. Let's make that really clear. There's nothing funny or cool about what he did. It was ridiculous. And quite clearly, he needs help. I mean that sincerely and genuinely, not throwing shade at him again. He needs help, and people who act like him as well. But like I said, with her, it's like this is a joke to her, quite clearly. If you remember just a few minutes ago, I mentioned that one good reason why people need to stop doing this, other than the reason that it's just not right, is because these situations can turn fatal very quickly. It's like all these celebrities and personalities on the internet, these social influencers, so to speak. People have been developing what they have called a parasocial relationship with these people. They see these people on TV all the time. They have these endorphin shots because they give them stuff that they want. They see stuff that they, like these people doing. But it's one-sided because that is just one person in contrast to the millions of people that are watching them. Like I said, these people, they do not care about these everyday people. They're doing their job. The everyday people that are patronizing whatever they're putting out are their customers. But the customers don't feel the same way. Every time they see these people come onto OnlyFans, social media, TV, wherever it is, Like I said, they're feeling a certain kind of way. They're feeling a connection that is psychological, that is very sick-minded, that is very one-sided, that is very unhealthy. And they then, like I said, feel entitled to something from these celebrities, from these social media personalities, from these OnlyFans models. And this scenario, this situation between Ruby Rose and this man is a textbook example of that. Like I said, she's over here taking this as a joke, talking about tattoo her face on him so that she knows all this is real. And allegedly, he goes out and does this and posts a picture and is in contact with this woman via the telephone, the cellular phone, if you will. She didn't name this man Brandon, weird OnlyFans fan, and then posted this whole conversation for the entire world to see. Him texting her multiple times, trying to get her attention, talking about how he sees his future with them. He didn't paint a whole future together with this woman, making hints that he didn't already told his family. So in his mind, he thinks that this is all going to play out with her being with him and him being able to be with her. Like I said, this is sick-minded. But this is how this stuff starts whenever they see people, like I said, busting it open, so to speak, on OnlyFans, the gram, YouTube, wherever they are, putting too much of yourself out there, exploiting yourself for a price. And when they overpay, they feel entitled. Look at the way he was talking in all caps in one of these text messages, talking about, why haven't you responded? I saw you updated your socials, so I know you read my stuff. It says read, but you ain't responded. Why are you not responding to me? That sounds unhinged to me. This man then told her half of his life story, his childhood life story, then exposed all kind of secrets about stuff that happened to him in his past, talking about his family information that she don't need to know, that we didn't need to know. We didn't ask for it, but she put it on there. She put it on the internet. Like I said, there's an entitlement there. He didn't spend X amount of money on you. Now he feels like he deserves something other than just watching you through a screen, through a telephone screen, a cell phone screen. And this is why, back in the day, I miss these old people and their sayings. The old folks used to say, don't be out here taking money from men who you don't plan on sleeping with, because that's what they're giving it to you to begin with for. Once again, we can't wrap up this conversation without having the part 2 of this conversation that a lot of people like to avoid and pass up, which is, unfortunately, the whole physical attraction thing. Like I said, the lust, perversion, and carnality. Whenever it comes to women like Ruby Rose, not only women who are very pretty, but also women who are very overly sexualized. Like that is the image that they built for themselves. And basically women who would rather money from a man than to be with a man or to use their body to make money. If you want them, if you want to possess them, you want ownership over them, so to speak, you're going to have to dish out some money, because that is the tone that they have set. I don't know why people act like they don't know this. They can't wrap their heads around this. And first of all, nobody should want that kind of interaction with another human being. And second of all, even when you give them the money, you still can't do all of what you want with them. This situation, once again, is perfect proof of that. He gave this woman $62K and then some, and then what did she do? Take a picture with him after she, and I quote, ran into him somewhere, and then treated him like a joke right before exposing the text messages all over Twitter. Once again, this comes out of people being more willing to nurture these sick-minded, toxic, parasocial relationships with these people that they might not actually meet. And even if they do, it's still not going to go the way they want them to, instead of going out, getting help with their problems, going to see a therapist, doing the work required to nurture actual, non-toxic, like I said, functional, healthy relationships with real human beings that they actually see in the real world every day, because there are good people out here that will be willing to get into relationships with people. Once again, you have to put in the personal work. It is possible. There are good people out there, contrary to what some of these goofy people out here on the internet in real life will have everybody thinking. There are too many normal, healthy-minded, non-toxic, functional women out here who are pretty just as much as Ruby Rose. Don't ever get it twisted. There are normal women who want normal relationships with normal men. But unfortunately, men like this dude get on the internet and they put people like her, women like her, on a pedestal. They prop them up so high, once again, because they're giving so much of their body to the internet to people for a price and would rather have their insecurities, once again, their weaknesses, their loneliness, their problems, that they refuse to go get help. Because if he can take $62,000 plus an allegedly $30,000 and give it to her, oh, he's got the money to go see a therapist, but will refuse to do that and instead give his money to her. Like I've said before, usually the comments very deeply disturb me, and that doesn't mean that there weren't some out there that weren't crazy, coming from cuckoo-minded individuals. But, a lot of the posts on Twitter and the comments on YouTube were basically saying the same thing, calling this guy out. Well, some of them were dragging him, but saying that he was insecure, that he needed some therapy. I'm also adding that he needs God. He needs deliverance. Obviously, you've got a problem, dude. And also pointing out, once again, one of the main issues, like what this person said on YouTube. Imagine if guys like him spent that kind of money on a partner who actually liked them, for being with them, for just being them. But of course, then you've always got the special kind of individuals. And by special, I'm trying to be nice and using that in replacement for another word that I would like to use right now, but I'm not going to, who say stuff like this. I get so sick and tired of these little butthurt men and women on the internet, these big babies who want to whine and cry about, oh, there's no more good people in the world, blah, 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 this. Once again, don't let these people out here on the internet have you thinking that nobody wants to be with you, that you can't find somebody who will want you for you, or that there are no good people in the world, because that is a flat out lie. It might take some searching, but I know that you can find somebody. There's too many people, like I said, out here in this world to draw that conclusion based on the very few people you have already come in contact with, especially, like I said, in contrast to the billions of people that are already out there that you haven't met yet. This is what I call a lazy conclusion. And it's easy to come to a lazy conclusion because people, once again, don't want to put in the work. They don't want to actually have to wait or do something good. And another problem is usually people are repelling the good people that they keep talking about don't exist because they have problems. They have issues. Deep down inside, they are toxic. So they end up around other toxic people in toxic places. And once again, chasing off the actual good people. Get some self-reflection going on in your life. Get some therapy. Get some God in your life. Ask him to help you find good people and then do the work that you have to do to maintain those good relationships. But anyways, finally somebody told the truth, and I'm so glad that they did. Once again, nobody wants to talk about this. Nobody wants to acknowledge this. Like what this person posted, a partner who would actually like him for being him would be somebody closer to his own category. A lot of these people, and this goes for both men and women too, they're single by their own doing. Point period blank. Again, they're trying to get with people who don't want to be with them, who might not even find them attractive, but all they care about is themselves and what they feel, how they feel in the relationship. Yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow, but guess what? It's not the end of the world. You can literally find somebody who wants you for you. But again, people are so hung up on the physical attraction of it all, on the lust, on the carnality, on the perversion. Like this dude talking about he was so in love with her. No, he was not. That was lust that he was in for her. When people can stop looking at the physical appearance, when they can stop propping people, once again, like Ruby Rose and all of the debauchery that women like her and men like her stand for, then they will be able to see all the normal people around them who they can actually be with, build good relationships with, have a good life with, and stop focusing on, well, she's not as pretty as this one, he's not as pretty as this one. That is what has gotten so many people in trouble. Once again, people are single because of that reason right now. And it's not that big of a deal. Who made it a big deal was all of us. By making physical attraction, lust, carnality, perversion such an issue in choosing who we want to be with. The moment we break all that up, stop putting people on a pedestal, once again, date normal people who do normal things, who are not toxic, who are not exploiting themselves, a lot of this would not be going on. But we're not ready for that conversation. We're not ready for that one. I know this is about him, but once again, a lot of both men and women are going to be single for a long time. They're going to be real messed up and in a bad headspace for a very long time, if not for the rest of their lives, because they are so focused on chasing people who really don't want them, who really just want to take advantage of them and low-key exploit them, like I said, instead of looking at the people who are around them, who they could be with, but because they're so messed up in the head and they refuse to get help, they're going to be messed up in the head for a while, probably for the rest of their lives because they don't want to get it together. But anyways, a lot of people, once again, were saying that she needs to get some security and she needs to do better with how she conducts herself and stop meeting up with random men that give her tens of thousands of dollars, because once again, this dude is sending some serious red flags and that he needs help. But quite clearly, he's not about to get it, and he doesn't believe in help, because allegedly, this is the same dude, allegedly, who was one of the men that was on the show I'm Addicted to You Know What, which was a show that was on MTV a while ago, some years ago. Apparently, he was one of the men that was on that show for this same issue. And this was years ago. So like I said, clearly he has learned absolutely nothing. Clearly he's gone nowhere. He's just gotten worse over the years. And that's not to say that there haven't been somebody who tried to get through to him. You know, we don't know. But to see that he went from that to this, it is very sad. Once again, he needs help. And I hope that genuinely he gets it before he crashes and burns and something crazy happens. It's like, tell me you didn't learn, once again, without telling me. And then you had the other few people that were pissed off because they were like, here you are spending, again, tens of thousands of dollars on stuff like this. And then you're mad because she won't give you the attention that you're entitled to when there are people out here making an honest living and they're struggling to make ends meet. And they have a right to be pissed because it's messed up. But anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think of all this down in the comments below respectfully. I didn't intend to make this as long as I did, but here we are. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Y'all all have a very blessed, safe, and wholesome day.